In this video, I want to talk about 10 ways that you can regain your power. The hurt and damage an emotional abuser does is unique, and they walk away completely oblivious to the damage they've caused. Or do they? Hello, my name is Elizabeth Goddard from Revive Your Soul, and on this channel I talk about healing from emotional abuse. Breaking the invisible chains that keep you tied to the relationship and tied to the abuser, not allowing you to break free, keeping you trapped. If you're new to this channel, please like and subscribe, and if you're returning, thank you and welcome back. So the hurt and the damage caused by an emotional abuser is unique, and then they walk away without a backward glance, completely oblivious to the damage they've caused. Or do they? They know exactly what they're doing, and they also get enjoyment out of knowing what pain they've caused. And for them, just thinking about you and how you're reacting gives them supply. You were their project. Now, you actually thought it was the other way around. They had convinced you during the relationship that they needed you. They needed your help. You were the only person who understood them. They had never met anyone like you before. You were unique. Now, emotional abusers might make up a small percentage of the population, but they cause untold damage. They might be in your workplace, or they might be a family member. These ones you find it difficult to stay away from. They're the ones that exhaust you after spending just a few minutes in their company. The video is worded for people coming out of emotionally abusive relationships and trying to understand what happened. But these techniques will work in lots of different situations. 10 things you can do to regain your power. Number 1 is grounding. Being grounded to the earth or in your body helps you rationalize situations and control your emotions and take control of your monkey brain. If you don't listen any further to this video, then that's fine, because grounding is going to help you so much. There's a reason that manufacturers ground appliances, and that is to protect you from getting a shock. You are able to do this yourself. You've already had that shock. You now need to recover from the surge of power that's coursing through your veins. It isn't actually electricity powering you up, it's stress hormones. Your fight, flight, fawn, freeze triggers that want to protect you. And hopefully the trigger is now out of your life and you are implementing number 2, which is to go no contact. Grounding will enable you to calm your body down and to think clearly. It helps you get out of your head when you're ruminating about the relationship or about a conversation or a situation. It allows you to become present in your body, and from your body you can listen to how you feel. You can calm your mind, which is triggering off the stress hormones, and you can quieten the monkey chatter. Breathe a long, deep breath, follow it through your body, feel it traveling through your lungs and down through your torso, and stop just between your hip bones, just below your navel. This is the tanden. In martial arts, they use this energy center just before a fight or a competition, and they take their breath down to this point, filling it up. In Reiki, we use the same point, and by focusing on your breath, you calm your mind down. You can look at the trigger or the flashback differently. You calm the thoughts that are berating you, telling you that this is all your fault, telling you what you did wrong, that if only you had said this to them, or perhaps you hadn't done something, reminding you that if it wasn't for your behaviour, you would still be together. And number 2 is going no contact, and this is greatly underestimated in the healing process. It is so important not to be contactable. They created a trauma bond that was used to make you dependent on them for everything. They maneuvered themselves into your life and gradually took over your thoughts and your actions, and you believed you were not able to function without them. Their thoughts became yours, and you believed they needed you, and you responded. They play the victim and they'll create fictitious reasons to still be in contact with you. And it works for them, but it doesn't work for you. They want to keep you trapped. They reach out to you. They need you. Or that's what they want you to believe. The only thing they need from you is attention, a bit more supply. You are now a lower grade supply to them, but they will still get something from you. So they'll happily keep you on a bit of string, reeling you back in when they get bored. Going no contact helps your mind and your body relax, and then it will start to release the hormones, the stress hormones that are stored in your body. They are Pavlov and you're one of Pavlov's dogs. They taught you how to respond to them and their needs. And the bell is your phone. As soon as you hear it, you respond to them. I'll put in the description box below a link to my video, Pavlov's Dogs and Thorndike's Cats. You respond because of the trauma bond. When they try to reach out to you, what is the emotion that's going on in your body? Give your trauma bond a name. See it as your inner child and ask it what it needs. Is it looking for attention? Don't be reliant on the emotional abuser. Break those chains that are keeping you trapped. If you're unable to go no contact, then you can implement Grey Rock. Learn the art of answering with a yes or a no. Don't be drawn into a conversation with them, and only rely on yourself for your emotional needs to be met. I know this isn't easy, but once you've started noticing the patterns of their behaviour, you will find it so empowering. Number 3, allow yourself the time and space to grieve. Don't put a time limit on your healing. You were tricked and manipulated. As part of that, you were creating a future with this person. This was part of their game. They told you everything they thought you wanted to hear, and they did this to hook you in. It keeps you trapped, trying to understand what happened, what you did wrong, and how you can get back to that place of being the centre of their world, the place you feel that's rightfully yours. You invested so much of yourself and you supported them in so many ways. You did everything they required of you. You were grieving the loss of the relationship and the loss of the future that you'd planned together. Don't underestimate the time it takes. You might still be struggling with the false persona that they'd presented to you, believing they would never do that. You need to untangle from them on every level. And this process might be a difficult time trying to marry up what happened with the person you believe them to be. Number 4 is establish healthy boundaries. There was nothing wrong with the boundaries that you had. You could perhaps have made them a little bit stronger, but over time the emotional abuser systematically broke them down. This again was part of their testing process. They pushed them a little and you forgave them, or you believed it was just a small one and it didn't really matter. They do this to test you at the beginning of the relationship. What they're trying to see is what you're willing to do for them, what they will get away with, and to see if you were worth investing their time in. They will move on very quickly if they're pulled up on their behaviour or they overstep a boundary and they can see that this person isn't going to move. Your self-esteem is on the floor at the moment. You can't decide which is left or right, up or down. Everything isn't as it should be. And just like Alice, who tumbled down the rabbit hole and found herself sat at the bottom, not quite sure what to do. Too big to get through the door, then too small to reach the keyhole. You're possibly wandering around in the dark. As you begin to claim your life back, you can repair the damage to your boundaries and you can start to enforce them again. And number 5 is climb out of the rabbit hole. If you're watching lots of videos trying to understand what happened to you, you need to change your search from what is a narcissist or the traits of a narcissist or was I married to a narcissist to more helpful ones like 10 ways to claim back your power or healing from emotional abuse. When you first come out of a relationship, They're really helpful for understanding the traits and understanding what you went through and realizing that you're not the only person who's been through this. You are not alone, and this really wasn't your fault. There is a point where you need to take the focus off them and turn it back onto yourself. Your relationship was about them. They dressed it up to make it look like it was about you, or that it was an equal relationship, but it really wasn't. Start changing your searches, or if you can turn off YouTube, go for a walk. Nature is an amazing place to heal. And if you have some form of water nearby, go and sit or walk near it. Or if it's possible, to go swimming. It is so cleansing, but please note, if you can't swim, ignore that last one. Taking gentle exercise is so calming, and it helps you release the stress hormones you've been holding on to in your body. Number 6 is practice forgiveness. But you can only do this by healing yourself first. Finding and healing the wounds, looking deeper than this relationship and healing the original wounds. These are the wounds that were created in childhood, and they are the ones that have allowed the emotional abuser to break down your boundaries. When you're in a place that you're not triggered by them or by hearing their name, you can forgive them and even thank them, but not personally. So you're thanking them for the lessons that they have put in front of you, for showing you what needed to be healed. And from this place, you can forgive them fully, because you can heal and move on. They can't. In their world, they are the victim. They are not responsible. So they are always going to be trapped. Number 7, start retraining your brain. Changing the voice in your head. So when you catch yourself, listen to that voice. Who is it? Where have you heard this before? And then reword it into something positive. Find some affirmations or create some yourself that help lift you up. Number 8, change your energy. When things are going well, you feel really good inside, and when they aren't, you don't. Have you ever felt really good and you're feeling and looking amazing, and you walk into a room and everybody in there is really low and you walk out feeling the same? Or the other way around, where you walk into a room and you're having a really bad day, you're feeling really sad, and the people inside there lift you up and you walk out feeling amazing. You don't have to rely on others to do this for you. By thinking about a time in your life when you felt amazing, you can literally change the chemicals within your body, not letting life's dramas drag you down. You can breathe through it and raise your vibration. In writing this, I remember a situation where I was told that I was bipolar. It was when my relationship was not in a good place and I was experiencing discard after discard after discard. I've worked in the spiritual field for over 20 years, and I was able to lift myself out of that low energy, that low vibration. I had no idea at the time, and it's only just occurred to me now, the emotional abuser hated it and they called me bipolar. They are looking to hurt you, and that's why they implement the discards and the devaluations. This is why they create the trauma bonds. They want to see you in pain. So if you're still in a place of wanting to hurt them in the same way that they hurt you, this is a great one to implement. And it's a win-win, because you're raising your vibration and they want to see you in pain. However, if you are in that place of still wanting to hurt them, have a little chat with your trauma bond and ask it why it still wants to hurt them, what is really going on, and find out what healing you need to do. And there's also a great video from Amy Cuddy. She talks about power poses and body language. And I think it's a Superman pose. So I'll put that link down in the description box below. Number 9 is understanding your purpose. Who are you? Why has this happened to you? What lessons can you gain from this relationship? It's never too late to heal from these relationships and to discover who you really are. Not the person you've been told you are or who you should be. So do you know what your soul's purpose is? So the first 7 to 8 years of our life are the most important. And as children, we are sponges and we take on everybody else's beliefs. Now, I actually believe we enter this world knowing what it is we're here for, but during that time, we're conditioned to forget. The family unit or the tribe that we're in imparts the family dynamics, the traditions, the beliefs and the fears. Now, you might come from a long line of doctors or accountants and you're expected to follow that career path. But if you're a creative person, all that does is squash your soul. Growing up, you receive information about the family, their beliefs around money, around people, politics, and their fears are passed along as well. And I also believe this can come through the DNA, and there is research being done at the moment regarding trauma and fear that's being passed down through the generations, through the DNA. As you start to heal from this relationship, you might start to question a lot of things. And this is your time not only to heal, but get back in touch with who you are and your true essence. And number 10, get help if you need it. These relationships are so complicated. The trauma from the abuse is held on so many different levels. You have been trauma bonded and they have walked away without a backward glance. You've been left wondering what happened. It's very likely you will never get closure from them. Healthy people are able to acknowledge what isn't working in a relationship, and they are able to give the other person closure, to help them understand, to help them move on. This wasn't a healthy relationship, and they are not healthy people. This was not your fault. Someone shinier came along with more money, a better car, more attention, better contacts. They might be a younger model. And just like people changing energy suppliers, looking for a better deal, the emotional abuser changes partners. In the same way that you might take out a lease on a car, when that lease comes to an end, you're given that chance to upgrade. And that's exactly what they do, always looking to upgrade. And you're left wondering what you did wrong, believing this was all your fault. It's the trauma bonds that keep you trapped. You're trying to get back to the part of the relationship where you felt secure and they were showering you with love. If you need help to get closure or break from the trauma bonding, seek it. And if you need help understanding who they were or what happened to you, find someone who can help you do this. If you can find someone who's been through it themselves, who understands the emotions you're experiencing. See, a textbook is not going to help someone understand this level of pain. Find someone who's been through it themselves, who knows exactly what you're going through, or their version of what you're going through, because we're all unique. We all experience something slightly different. This is your time. 10 ways to regain your power. Take this moment to heal the wounds and the damage they've caused, and to go back and find the original wound, to build your boundaries up, and to go on and lead this amazing life that's there waiting for you. If you'd like to work with me, I've got 2 groups on Facebook. I'll put those in the description box below. If you'd like to know how to work with me on a one-to-one basis, you can visit my website, reviveyoursoul.co.uk, or drop me an email, info@reviveyoursoul.co.uk. And I'll also put the links to my 2 books, Finding Lily and the A to Z of Emotional Abuse, down in the description box below. I'm sending you loads and loads and loads of love.